I'm so happy you all came out to see me. So, my name is Michaelah Montgomery. A lot of you guys know me as the girl from Chick-fil-A, but I am so much more than that. Not only do I serve as the CEO of Conserve the Culture, I am also the state director for Blexit down here in Georgia. I'm a Fulton County coordinator for America First Works, and I'm also launching a podcast on the Patriots Prayer Network, so put some respect on my name. Now, why don't we jump right into it? See, as a young single mother, I can tell y'all that rent is too damn high. I can tell you that as a young black voter, groceries are too damn high. And as an American citizen, period, seniors like my parents should never have to choose between medicine or food. It should never be the quality of life versus the quantity of life. And I don't want to hear, oh, but we capped the price of insulin and lowered the price of all these medicines. Yeah, but you raised the price of everything else, so it's about time to start telling the truth to Americans and let them know exactly what they're signing up for if they want to vote for Kamala Harris. We need to vote based on facts and not feelings. See, under Harris and Biden, the average Georgia household is losing $1,060 per month, and inflation is at 21.4%. And due to the war on energy, average gas prices have reached record highs for the state. We also did a poll, and 80% of us black Americans are not happy with the current state of the economy, so I'm going to need 80% of y'all to vote accordingly in November. They love me, they really love me. The left wants you to get in your feelings about things that have been said, but I want you guys to pay attention to what has been done. They don't want to talk policy. They just want to use propaganda to steal your vote. The left is trying to tout this woman as a savior for the black community, but all she's done is hurt the black community since she came into the game. See, the first step in destroying the black community is to dismantle the black family. So aside from her record as a prosecutor, why don't we ask Mrs. Willie Brown if Kamala Harris cares about black families? I wonder if Mrs. Willie Brown, a black woman, is also with her. A few days ago, President Trump said he didn't know Vice President Harris was a black woman. I'm trying to figure out what all the outrage is about because she's only black when it's time to get elected. Did I lie? The same black people who are mad at Trump for being confused about her race, ethnicity, nationality, whatever, are seemingly forgetting that while you're touting her as a savior for black people, she identifies as an Asian woman. She chose her side and it wasn't ours. When asked if she would ever do anything specifically for black people, she said no. Whereas Trump gave us the Platinum Plan, which specifically uplifted the black community by increasing capital by almost $500 billion, creating 500,000 new black businesses, and would give black churches the ability to fight for federal resources for their communities. And why are we acting like strong borders aren't a thing literally everywhere else in the world? Since when has being patriotic been a crime? See, a few weeks ago at the debate, Trump mentioned black jobs, and a lot of people got in an uproar as if they didn't know what he meant. Well, we go to the polls and cast our black vote. We go to the stores and spend our black dollar. We live in our black community, but for whatever reason, we draw the line at a black job. Oh, but wait, because if you're wondering what a black job is, please, I encourage you all to drive through Atlanta at all these beautiful black-owned businesses and check and see who works there. Probably a black person working for a black entrepreneur, recycling the black dollar, creating black generational wealth. If they come here illegally and they're taking your jobs and your resources, then please believe my cousins in the Appalachians, they coming for you too. And y'all know Kamala Harris has yet to say Laken Riley's name. As border czar, she opened the border to millions of illegal immigrants that have flooded American streets with deadly drugs and gangs that have spiked overdoses by over 124% and brought more crime into minority communities. So how's that for black folks? But let's take race out of it. Just as a woman, period. How can you be a champion for women's rights when you're taking away opportunities from biological women and giving them to transgendered ones? I'll wait, y'all, because I wasn't done. See, how can you promote equity for women and you're allowing men to play in women's sports? And what kind of feminist would still allow men to enter their sacred spaces, i.e. our bathrooms and school locker rooms? Do I even need to mention the opening ceremony at the Olympics? Or the fact that Angela Carini was forced to fight a man and told us that she's never been punched so hard in her life. We cannot allow dangerous liberals who think things like this are okay into the White House, because my daughter will not be fighting a man at her wrestling match. And what I think both men and women can agree on is that national security is important. So who would y'all rather see lead us into war if it were so to happen? My silk-pressed sister Kamala or the big dog Donald Trump?
Welcome to Breakdown Friday. Patrick Irvin, Joseph Wood, Professor Carl Tone Jones, and we here to talk about the black MAGA, the black Republicans, the black people who are trying to tell us to come to the good side, to come on home, because as Michaelah Montgomery said, they stumping for the big dog, Donald Trump. And they be lying. Hey, man, look, I know a lot of y'all be like, y'all be always going in on the Democrats. Now we're finna go in on Republicans, so you're going to be happy too, right? But like we've been telling y'all, both sides are full of. I do want to make this point. She was talking about the opening ceremony of the Olympics. What the hell does the American government have to do with the Olympics? And the young lady in the boxing match, that was actually a lady who beat that other lady, who hit that lady hard. That was actually a real lady. So I mean, but is it me, or do it sound like she was just watching social media all day and writing down talking points and just, oh, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna get them on this. Like you didn't tell us anything new. You didn't anything new. We did break down on the platinum plan, so we got information on the platinum plan, and we got a lot to talk about. If you don't know who this is Michaelah Montgomery, and she's the new diamond in silk for the Republican Party. She's the new Negro that they decided to find a smarter, more eloquent Negro to put out there, who got a little sass, a little attitude to it, and who actually, like, you know, behaves like a black person, the stereotypical black person, put out there, so you can bring more Negroes over to the Republican plantation. But we here to tell you, just like we're telling the Republicans, we ain't falling for it, because Republicans ain't doing nothing for us either. So with that being said, y'all already know how we do. Make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. Also, make sure you go check out fetlifestation.com. Immediately following this, 2 p.m., fetlifestation.com. Make sure you check it out. So, speaking of fetlifestation.com, peace, man. Yeah, that smirk on your face. I don't know what that means, man. What's up, man? What's on your mind? What you think about Michaelah Montgomery, her presentation, how she's being used by the Republican Party, and the things that are coming out of her mouth?
I don't think she's being used. I think she's trying to use the opportunity to sort of expand her brand. I see her as one of those niche, what do they call it? Those niche influencers, somebody who was throwing rocks against the wall until they found something that stick. And that's kind of how I see, her in regards to, what we just witnessed.
I say use because they're gonna get more out of her than she get out of them. So,
well, I don't. Here's the thing, and we talked about it prior too, right? She's diamond and silk all over again, just more polished,
just a better version,
more presentable. So, and if one of them, I think it was Diamond that died. I think they would probably brought them back if they were both together, if they were both alive. So, I mean, she didn't. What she talked about is things that, like you said, is a simple Google search if you want to look up some of these things. Meanwhile, you know what I'm saying, we just, you know, I'm actually lost for words here because I don't really know what more. Nobody really can take a person like that seriously. The antics and the, you know, the white sister girl sort of thing going on. It's hard to even make sense out of what that was. And I think that really what it does speak to is the lack of respect that either party has for black people.
I'm just saying.
When you bring people on like that don't talk policy, really not points that those are just talking points that she brought up. It wasn't policy. And when you think about how nobody is truly addressing any serious issues that are pertaining to black people that will help black people, that will you know, on any of these platforms, it just makes you wonder why black people are even considering either one of these candidates. So the black Republicans are just as ridiculous as the I'm with her Kamala followers on the other side. The bottom line is both play a game of benign neglect when it comes to black people. And because they both play the game of benign neglect, they figure they can just entertain us. Now, I will admit, as a president, Trump, if he wasn't nothing else, he was extremely entertaining. You know, when you watched him, it was must see TV every time he got a chance to get up and speak in front of people. It was must see TV. But in terms of even one of these candidates doing anything for the black community needs to present itself as a power of its own that will force other groups to actually acknowledge the need for us to be a part of their program by, you know, giving us tangibles. And I'll land my plane right there for now.
I'm just say it one more time before you land your plane. Just say that say it one more time.
What about the part that either party, like black community, the black people? This is what happens when we actually treat ourselves with benign neglect, because then we put ourselves in a position where we're forced to deal with the lesser of two evils, but both of the consequences are evil for us. So in essence, if we don't create a legitimate reason why we should be respected, why we should be seen seriously in the world, and why we shouldn't be seen as children, while they feel as though they have to present tangibles to all these other nations, but for us, they can just put on the dog and pony show and entertain us, which is why I pointed out that Donald Trump is entertaining. I did point that out.
Yeah, it works.
Because for anybody that says that, oh, you would vote for Donald Trump because he's entertaining. First of all, never said I'm voting for anybody. I told everybody my protest to all this shit, I'm going to vote for me. My name's going to be on the ballot, even if I have to write it.
I'm voting for you.
Right. And I honestly think that that's a tactic we'll talk about probably a little later. That's a tactic we should consider as a public protest to anybody, all these parties. Write your own name on the ticket. You know, the write-in vote. You can write yourself on inside of that the voting booth. I did it for mayor. Got my one vote for Philadelphia. There's official. I ran for mayor. But in terms of the way that we're being dealt with, who would respect you if you don't respect yourself? And that's why they feel as though all they have to do is entertain us, offer us fried chicken. And they had a campaign. It wasn't them. I think it was the Democrats a couple years ago, had a campaign with like malt liquor and weed to get black people to the polls, I believe, and the strippers and all that other stuff. Nobody takes us seriously, and so because we don't present ourselves in a way where you should take us seriously, while we will hold you accountable, then we're gonna keep getting what we get. The shit show. That's my one.
Hey, it reminded me of the black lady from the Popeyes commercial. Honey, come in and get your crispy 3-piece and a biscuit with these Cajun mashed potatoes.
Well, I think the irony is, I think they got her from like a Chick-fil-A commercial. A Chick-fil-A, she used to, I think she worked at Chick-fil-A or something like that. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah. She
was born, bred, and battered to be this caper for the Republican Party. Pat, man, jump on in here, man. What are your thoughts about Michaelah Montgomery? Her caping for the Republican Party, things coming out of her mouth, and Donald Trump being a big dog.
It's actually comical, right? Like,
very much so.
Because I wonder, as a black man, I'm starting to be embarrassed by the caricatures of black women, right? Because that was a character. Mm-hmm. Like, she checked all the boxes.
Yeah.
But then you kind of gotta wonder, how real is this character? Like, how real is this caricature? Like, what percentage of black women actually act like that? Why do they feel like she can connect on that level? Why is she willing to do it? Because I don't even think she's smarter than Silk the Shocker. I'm sorry, Diamond and Silk.
It's a more polished version, though.
Yeah, I think she's more polished. I think she might actually be less intelligent because they were a clear caricature. Like, it was obvious with them. Like, they went all the way in with like, nah, I'm gonna be exactly what these white folk think we are, and I'm gonna get it. She's kind of trying to toe the line. So she's kind of like, to me, she's like a trying to follow the Candace Owens approach.
Right. Because that's the new archetype.
Yeah, but I don't know the young lady, so it's not a slight or anything like that. This is like a legitimate, I don't know if she's intelligent enough. Because Candace Owens, you love her or hate her, you can accuse her, whatever you want to accuse her of. One thing you can't deny is that is an intelligent woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, and that's always like, it's the same thing the women love saying about all of the new men trying to come out and be the next Kevin Samuels. They just ain't smart enough to pull it off. That's fair. That's a fair statement.
Because they're not. We've seen them. They're not.
Yeah, that's
they're
a
not
fair
capable.
statement.
Right.
So now I'm like, all right, so with this chick, is she smart enough to turn that corner? And judging from all the extras, I can't say she is or she isn't. I can say I'm not entirely sure she really understands her audience. So that's to the character, the whole put some respect on my name. Lady, we met you at Chick-fil-A.
She part of Blexit, what you talking about, Pat? And
Look,
she got a podcast.
All that's fine. And you can list all your accolades and all this other stuff. Where did I meet you? Okay, what are we talking about? So then we move on, but like PC says, those were talking point. None of the, so you're basically saying vote for Donald Trump because he's not Kamala.
Yeah, that's it.
Like there was nothing of substance to anything that it was an attack piece. You didn't say nothing good about Donald Trump. One could even argue the big dog comment wasn't even a good thing. Because you could say Donald Trump is a big dog in all the negative ways that we mean when we refer to men as dogs.
Yeah, but that make her look like the ultimate brown noser as well. Like she showed the deep up his booty hole.
Oh yeah, she's absolutely a brown. I think her legs are white.
But never mind.
Well, we've seen her. Yeah. So, but the joke stands. Okay.
Yeah.
A white lady with melanated upper torso area. So, anyways, so the closest thing to policy, she said, was the platinum plan. We were going over the platinum plan. That was a 2-page advertisement for Black Americans.
And it was nothing. It was really nothing specific for Black Americans. It was the normal minority upliftment thingy.
Right. Trump didn't do nothing for Black folk. Y'all can't sit here and say Biden and Kamala ain't do nothing for Black folk, and then say, look at what Trump did, and Trump ain't do nothing neither.
Right.
So even with that, like, the only thing Trump got going for him is exactly what PC said. Trump was entertaining, and Black folk like to be entertained. But other than that, like, you basically put out a whole hit piece on Kamala Harris, and then what's even funnier is you were shooting at her for stuff that's not even really the president. Look, Black folk, I know y'all like to think the boss control everything. The president has very little to do with the state of the American economy. I don't know how many other ways that need to be shared. The president has very little control over the United States of America economy. Groceries are going up, prices are going up, prices go up, prices go down, presidents come in, presidents go out. Presidents have very little control over that. So if all you're going to attack Joe Biden for is the economy, well, then we got to attack Trump for the economy too. Well, no, the economy was great all the way up until COVID. Okay, so it was great all the way up until it wasn't. Who was president during COVID? Trump, right? So if the president directly controls the economy, then it's Trump's fault that the economy fell apart. That's how that logic works when you follow it honorably, like logically. But if we're not going to do that, if we're going to say, well, Trump ain't have no control over COVID, okay, he didn't, but he had control over the economy, right? So even with COVID, economy still shouldn't have fell apart. That's your logic. So she's
well, she was also going after Kamala about the Willie Brown situation, but Kamala's come up. Well, Donald Trump got similar indiscretions. So, are we? So basically, we're back to choosing which one is better: her sleeping with somebody's husband, or him cheating on his wife with porn stars and all the other stuff he been doing. So, like, now we like apples and oranges, scorpions and earthworms. I don't know,
Yeah, because even her comment, 80% of Black voters don't like the economy. She said that as if that statistic changes drastically.
Yeah.
Like, the majority of Black Americans never like the economy because we always broke.
But guess how they still vote?
The crazy part is, if that's the logic we're going to take, when Donald Trump was president, did the economy change for Black people? Or was we still broke? When George W. was president, did the economy change for Black people? Or what? Like, we act like we've never had Republican presidents before. When Reagan was president, when Nixon was president, all of these Republican presidents.
So you're going too far back.
I'm just saying, like, if Black folks have never been pleased with the economy, regardless of who is in office, then how is who's in office supposed to? How is the economy supposed to be a movement point? You're
supposed to feel her. You're supposed to feel her and be emotional.
Oh, okay.
That's what she was. That's why she was there.
Well, I don't have those. So.
But you made a good point though earlier, because you was like, they didn't just pick her out of nowhere. So I'm sure they did they little surveys, market research, or whatever, to look at the demographic of people that they want to target, and they found somebody that they fit a specific demographic that they want to target. So they want to get more of the everyday regular black people, and she could probably even reach some of these hood people or something who may hear her, because I'm sure they see a lot of videos on TikTok and Instagram of people from the hood talking about how much they love Donald Trump because of the stimulus money. No, they don't understand that, it's a governmental thing, but a lot of those people, their mindset is Donald Trump gave us money. So you're targeting those people. With the use of social media now, they can see, they know what's going on in the streets. I'm sure they have people who are keeping their ear to the streets about what people are saying, what they have going on. So they picking these specific people based off the research that they've done. And you asked another good question. She does represent a demographic of black women who behave like that. She does. That's why they picked her.
And I want to say this before I quiet down for a minute. It is real interesting that black people attribute the stimulus package to the man in the party that didn't want to get it.
Go ahead. I mean, yeah. I thought PC was trying to jump in. I think his camera freezing a bit.
Oh, it's definitely froze.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. We got a frame. Now we got a bunch of them. Okay.
I'm back
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, without
my internet, I can't
I don't know. Go out, try going out and come back in.
I gotta optimize the internet. Hold on.
Yeah.
Give me one second.
But she mentioned voting facts over feelings. She mentioned that. Facts over feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're voting facts over feelings, why do you ain't give us no real facts that we should be voting for? Because you gave us all feelings. And
a bunch of them.
And once again, we've had this conversation. They talk about because we asked, what have the Democrats done for us? Nothing. So the Republicans take that and run with it. The Democrats haven't done anything. You keep telling us Democrats aren't doing anything for you. Yeah, but neither are you. Well, we're the party of freedom. So the last time the Republicans did something specifically for black people that uplifted black people or even helped black people in any kind of way was the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right. The document passed. The document that was signed into law by a president that would be considered a Democrat nowadays. Y'all taking credit for stuff that don't even belong to your ideology.
I'm just saying
it belongs to your party, but not your ideology.
Yeah. But that's why it drives me crazy. Two things with politics. One, I don't understand why the people are party loyal. The parties need us. We don't need the parties. If we don't vote them in, they can't do anything. We should be neutral and vote the issues, not the parties. Also, the second thing is the people who are party loyal, who think they have to be a part of a party, they're disenchanted with the Democratic Party, so they're going to go to the Republicans and then go full on Black MAGA as if they have something to talk about. Well, we know about the border issue. We know about all the failings of the Democrats. We know that, but we also know about the failings of the Republicans. The Republicans, of course, they're not going to talk about their failings. Why would they? It's bad advertisement. But the Democrats going to talk about the failings of the Republicans. The Republicans going to talk about the failings of the Democrats. But neither party is going to say, "Hey, this is where we've been messing up."
So,
go ahead.
So, hopefully I'm back. Yeah, hopefully I'm back. Hopefully I was able to fix what was wrong. But it brings up so when we start critiquing Kamala Harris, what's the first knee-jerk reaction we typically get? We typically get, so I guess you're voting for Trump. It's like, so when I hear the other side of it, it's really the same thing. It's really the whole notion of going this tit for tat childish response that we seem to have to everything, where we can't really address the matter at hand. So I'm going to need. So it's either one. I'm going to either be on the left or I'm either going to be on the right. No, we have way more options than that. We have so many more options, but it takes somebody who has the propensity to act like an adult to actually understand that. So policies, and Joe, you brought up a great point. Why should we become loyal to either party and choose? When you think about it, the whole concept of the Democrats and the Republicans, they flip sides. You know what I'm saying? Back what was it, in the 40s or the 50s? They flip sides in terms of who was going to be a Democrat and who was going to be a Republican. The only thing that stayed the same is liberals and conservatives. But in terms of party loyalship, that the whole concept of a Republican, that changed, especially after the Kennedy election. So when you start to, and I think it happened even prior to that, if we want to be honest, Pat, you know more about that because I remember you talking about that concept before. Mm-hmm. So in regards to the way we respond to stuff, it's still like children, but you can't tell an adult that they're a child because they're going to have a tantrum, which kind of like belays the problem that most of us don't actually operate like adults. So we see all these situations the same way. As black people, this is one of the reasons why I say as black people, we should abstain from voting for either presidential candidate. Now, did I say abstain from the electoral process? No. But the electoral process is more than just election day.
It's more than the president.
So right. If you want to make sure that the president's powers don't become overbearing, well, then you make sure that you put enough Democrats in the seat to counterbalance the Republican nominee. And so when you do that, then you hold your politicians, you make sure they're loyal to you, to your base. And if they're not loyal to your base, you remove your vote, which is something black people seem to be very hesitant to do in regards to making sure people earn our vote. It's like it's a given. And I've even had that conversation amongst brothers and sisters that allegedly they identify as conscious to what's going on in the world, but they seem to be easily moved by emotion just like everybody else. So, and the emotions win, which is why I brought up the whole concept of at least Donald Trump is entertaining. Because let's be real, everybody telling us to vote for Kamala, you're doing this based on pageantry. Well, pageantry is a form of entertainment. It's a popularity contest. So I'd rather, if that's all it takes to be president is to be more popular, I'd rather have the person that makes me that entertains me than to do that. And that's not to say, because I'm not really considering Donald Trump as somebody that I would support, but I'm just saying it sounds silly to say it on one end and not the other.
Well, I mean, remember, we're, like you said, we're conditioned to vote off of pageantry. We're conditioned to vote off of popularity. We're not conditioned to vote off of actual policies and what's really going on. But it's the rolling out of the single Black American mother. Notice how she came out and said, I'm a single Black mother. She was a Black woman. She was a single mother. She was all these things before she was an American. Hey, they looking at specific demographics. Come on over here. Come on over. We know you guys are disillusioned by the Democrats, so come on over. Because we ain't gonna do nothing for you anyway. You're just gonna wear red and you're just gonna support our people, but we ain't gonna do nothing for you anyway. Because once again, where's the tangibles? Where have you been the last, my life? I'm 40 years old. Where have y'all been? And so now we're supposed to vote for y'all because Kamala Harris is running for president. Like, hey, I'm gonna write your name in, PC. You better get ready. You getting at least 2 votes. Y'all think I'm playing? All right.
I think the problem that we have. Oh, go ahead, PC.
No, go ahead.
I think the problem that we have is that
I've been freezing all night. Go ahead.
I think the problem that we have is that the human nature is better understood by those strategists and decision makers than by the people. And the black community is never going to do what they need to do with regards to being researched and voting the issue. That's just not going to happen. It's what needs to happen, absolutely, but it's just not going to happen. The way these things work, and this is one of the reasons why everybody couldn't vote when the founders first created the Constitution. People think that it was on some power trippy type shit, and maybe it was, but the bigger issue is that they knew
people are stupid.
They knew that the average person would be swayed by emotions and would be easily led astray by demagogues. They understood this. This is why we have a party system to begin with, because the parties are supposed to prevent demagogues from being able to come in and take power. See, everything that they did, yes, it was tinged in racism and elitism. I'm not taking any of that out of it, but I'm also saying that those people had a better understanding of fundamental human nature than we give them credit for. And so we undid everything that they did, and everything that they said would happen if we undid it happened. And so what's happening now is the black community is doing what communities do. A small group of people actually follow the issues. The rest of the people listen to the people that they look up to. And they vote either straight down the line, or they vote according to whatever figure they're idolizing tells them to vote. Even the ones that are well researched, when you really press them on the issues, very few of them actually know the issues. Very few of them. Most of them, even the most intelligent, and it's not a slight, it's human nature. People have different interests. Everybody's not interested in politics, and that's fine. But where we're being led astray is that the people that are supposed to be interested in politics, all those political talking heads that are black,
they don't know,
are also not interested in politics. They're not doing their jobs. They've been bought, they've been paid for, they've been compromised, and it compromises the whole community. The problem we have is that the black boule is no longer beholden to the black community. And the solution to that is not to get rid of the boule, because we've learned when you try to get rid of the elite structures of a culture group, new people rise up to become the new elites.
Everybody want to be on top. It's human nature.
Yeah. So the solution is not, all right, we need to throw away the elites and try to create a society with no elites. That's not how this works. What you need to do is establish a set of elites and then create a culture that makes it so that in order to be elite, you have to be beholden to the culture. You have to care about your people in order for us to view you that way. That's doable, but we got a long way to go before we can get there, because then it becomes a matter of, okay, how do you usurp power, usurp influence from the elite? Who's willing to come up and actually go to war with the elite and not become basically newer versions of the elite? Who's willing to battle with these people and then say, okay, we defeated them, now I'm gonna look out for y'all because y'all are my people? Where are those people at?
Hey man, you know what happens when people get power?
Well, after that, can we get rid of the boule people after we do that, Pat? Because they really in the way.
I know California don't like them right now.
So, this thing, but. Boy. So yeah, I'm lagging bad. Anyway, so thing that I think that that we can look at is the fact that the one black people in particular, but black people in particular, become really disenfranchised with the whole process. I mean, the propaganda machine that makes it seem like anybody's interested. Sorry, damn neck. Anybody's interested in this in the politics right now. It's not really showing. It's really not painting the picture. The majority of people have totally given up on this whole concept because of how clownish it is. Like literally, this is something off of the of South Park, and looking at what's going on with the elections. The whole concept of how it's even being run is embarrassing. People like the characterization of black women is okay. I'm trying one more time. But you look at the characterization of black women, it's embarrassing. America is embarrassing right now. Globally, this whole thing is terrible. When you look at the way the politics of the way the policies are operating and moving, this thing is not moving in a way in which what's considered to be the world leader and most powerful government in the world, how it's supposed to operate, man. This is not how it's supposed to work. This is the most undignified thing I've ever seen. All right, am I back?
You good? Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. All right. Donald Trump is actually gets to run a campaign for which he doesn't really have to answer for much. He doesn't have to answer. First of all, his voting block, the people voting for him are locked in. They already know who they're voting for. So the people who identify as voting with Kamala, they've already said okay, all right. They've already said they don't give a damn about whether or not she has policies, whatever. They're gonna vote for. But what this is because he really doesn't have any real opposition, he gets to do whatever he wants because he doesn't have any opposition. Like what's being brought before us, stranger things have happened if she wins. But for the most part, this is looking like a landslide, and he doesn't even have to try. He's been campaigning for this whole thing since the day he got elected the first time. So he has almost a 10-year head start on how does everybody. You don't need to read into it. Everybody pretty much knows who Donald Trump is. And so for his sister to be out there, and I use the term sister lightly, to be out there embarrassing herself and things and moving in this particular way, it's just horrible to look at. I can't stomach it no more. I can't stomach none of this for real, because this is just horrible. I'm glad I wasn't eating before I saw that clip, because it would have been over. That's probably why my shit is freezing up. My internet is refusing to cooperate with this shit.
No, but that's facts though, because that speaks to like when I talked about the caricature. I want to fill in the people that don't know. First, you got the Kamala Harris doing her basically her Hillary Clinton hot sauce in my bag impersonation.
Please, I watch my collard greens in bathtub.
Right.
No black people don't do that.
Then you got her bringing Megan Thee Stallion out. Then you got all of the other antics with the whole Casanat situation, if that's true. And then, so that's happening on the side with the colored lady. On the side with the white man, you got this.
Buzzword Brenda. That's what I'm gonna call it. Buzzword Brenda.
Yeah, so that's dope. So when do the real black women stand up and say, like, because again, like as a black man, I'm embarrassed because the women I imagine are my counterpart Don't act like none of this. Like this is all like low class, kind of bougie, kind of ratchet, you like you throw in all of the buzzwords you want to throw in for how white people view black culture, and they all fit. And of course they do. You got a bunch of white people trying to speak to black women, and black women, I'm like, are y'all paying attention to the language they using?
You know, but you know what you just made me think about? The video that you shared in the group chat the other day that we're talking about the black girl, talking about the way black women are characterized and the image of black women right now in the media and in culture. They're literally signing up for it. These type of black women are literally signing up to keep the stereotypes going, make the stereotypes come true.
And she thought it was empowering. She should black women are number 2 right now behind only white men.
No, they're not. And what? Number 2 in what?
But that's in terms of respect around the globe. But that's where I'm not. Like,
no. If black women were number 2 in as far as respect around the globe, black women wouldn't be portrayed in the Sexy Red wouldn't exist. This is the same girl that said Sexy Red she liked Sexy Red music. Sexy Red wouldn't exist if black women respectability was as high as she said it was. But
see, okay, so you talking about the other clip with the young girl, the one that we probably I get you. But see, here's the thing, right? Even in that girl talking about the
you talking about Cheyenne?
Yeah, well, the psychology expert,
right?
But even in that girl talking about what she was talking about, right? Like, she still admitted she likes the caricature. Like both of y'all pointed out in the chat.
What are we talking about?
She likes it. So, but that's where I'm like, okay, I'm not talking to those black women. I'm talking to the black women that we used to try to get to engage as far as like the silent majority, right? You black women, at what point, like y'all always saying, Joe, I ain't cursed yet, so I got a few. All right.
I'm just hold up. Let me get my pen ready. Like your timestamps down. Go ahead.
So y'all black women always saying y'all hate to be called the bitch. That's basically what they calling you over and over and over again. At what point do you get tired of being called out of your name?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, they now became the baddest. So, you know.
You gonna write your own time like what?
Oh, they became. I mean, you can do all types of euphemisms around the bad, ball, savage, all of them. You know, wrapped up in one. You know,
but it's
out of.
But but you can't on like the 2 videos.
I'm just gonna say this. I just hope they don't blame black men for this. Don't blame us for we didn't do it. We did not create Michaelah. Michaelah. Whatever the hell her name is. We didn't create it. We ain't do it.
The old black man's her name.
Yo, as soon as I said Michaelah, okay, we crumping names now.
He old man. Look, he's been old black man for a while. Yeah. Hey,
but so, we ain't do it. We ain't create this one. We
I mean, don't blame us. Both videos, you have the women talking about the position of black women and how black women are seen, or you know, but because the young lady, the video with the young girl, she came about it from a victim standpoint, as if you don't have a number of women signing up to play these parts. If people are signing up to play these parts, then you have to look at the people who are signing up to play these parts. Why are you looking to sign up? Why are you looking to play these parts? Then somebody will say, well, the part shouldn't exist. Yes, it should in white supremacy, because it's a part of the white supremacist agenda. What shouldn't exist is black people available to play those parts. That's what shouldn't exist. Now, also, some other bull she was talking about, basically how under Donald Trump, we could generate black generational wealth. Okay. Black wealth overall has been on the decline since before Donald Trump was elected the first time. And black wealth is still on the decline after Donald Trump is gone. What generational wealth are you talking about us being able to build under Donald Trump because we wasn't able to do that under Donald Trump the first time? I don't care how much we're spending for this and for that. There was no generational wealth specifically for black people that was built under Donald Trump. If it was, point it to me.
Well,
they're like lying, man. And
yes,
I figured out it was a and going on my computer while I was doing it. My apologies for all the stuff. I normally catch it, but I didn't catch it.
Okay, you back on beat.
I didn't even think to ask if you had a fire hand going.
Yeah, man. So my apologies, but but that her whole thing was just spill for people who don't do research. But when you think about it, that's in itself is insulting because you sit there and calculate the fact that black people are not going to research the people up. Just like she was talking about the 500. What did she say? 500,000 black businesses. Where the f did that number from? Unless she's talking about people who are independent contractors.
But even in that,
oh damn, sorry about that. I thought they got caught up in the just
even in that. It's funny to me, right? The 500, all of the, like they always talk about how many black businesses were created. What's the average revenue of those businesses? Are they in profit? How many people have those businesses hired? What sectors and services are those businesses? Like we got so many questions that go into the impact. If I file a piece of paper right now tonight, I've started a business. That counts as one. What has it done for anybody? Nothing. So, but even to that, it becomes this economic question of if you're going to talk about generational wealth. One, and I know this is a whole separate show, but I gotta say it since it was brought up. Black people as a culture don't understand the concept of generational wealth. And that is clear because we focus more on economic offense than we do on economic defense. We spend so much time trying to purchase. Like we spend so much focus on income. Wealth has very little to do with how much money you have, you make. It has a lot more to do with how much you keep.
Now, how much your money make for you that you kept.
Right. How much of the money that you brought in did you keep? Obviously, if you spend money in terms of investments, well, that money is going to return to you multiplied. But until it returns to you, it's still not money that you kept. So we say that to say everybody that's playing the stock market. Look, if you keep investing in bad stocks, you're not creating generational wealth.
Nah.
So how much of your, but it's hard to keep money when you're paying for houses you can't afford, paying for cars you can't afford, paying for clothes you can't afford. And here I even stretched the can't afford off. Even if you can afford it, if you don't need it, you're not building generational wealth. If you spend $300,000 on a house and $200,000 would have went just fine, that's $100,000 you didn't get to keep in your pocket to pass on to the next generation.
Or take it to make compound interest, all that type of stuff. Yeah.
Or invest or anything else. So when I see people talking about generational wealth and then they get a little bit of money and the first thing they do is go buy a designer this and I know everybody like to say black people, that just be this and they really don't do that, then okay, but even if that is true what you're saying and that's just the people talking.
No, we're consumers. The numbers show it. We're consumers.
We know the numbers say it, but I'm gonna play this game with them. We know that our children are learning life through social media. So even if what you're saying is true right now, how much longer is that true? Because eventually the kids that are going to grow up, they're going to learn how to handle money through YouTube. And in that learning is going to be embedded a code of status. I gotta buy this, I gotta do that, I gotta look this way. This is the reason why people all of a sudden think $100,000 is a small amount of money.
Well, think about that idea of status is already embedded within our culture. That's why black people got to run out and get the BMWs and the Benzes and all the other fancy stuff that the white people get. They got to get the Gucci and Louis because it's a status thing.
But that's the point I was making. I'm saying if we want to pretend like the status doesn't exist, because a lot of black people do like to say black people really don't move that way. That's just the way it's portrayed. Okay, well, if I'm following your logic and we're going to agree that black people really don't move that way, then it's only a matter of time, because that's the only way that we're portrayed. It's only a matter of time before that becomes true, because who's teaching the kids any different?
Well, I mean, the another way to look at it is when we talk about
you got how to sell the Negro,
right? But black people's needs for status. That's why the people in the hood who struggling still got on Jordans. It's status, it's about status. But also another angle to look at. Real quick, just gonna say it real quick. Another angle to look at the generational thing is black people keep trying to close the wealth gap with white people. Stop doing that. X that idea out of your mind. X the idea out of our minds of closing the wealth gap. They own 90 to 98% of the wealth in this country. We're not gonna close that gap. We need to be concentrated on reaching a realistic goal for ourselves of what we want as far as building wealth, not trying to catch white people. You're not gonna do that. And that we at the bottom of that mountain still trying to get up, and it's looks like an insurmountable task, because we shouldn't be focusing on catching up with them. We should be focusing on doing what we need to do for ourselves and setting our own goals for us. Go ahead, PC. My bad.
No, that's cool. 3 things. I'm trying to get in between the glitches. 3 things about that. I'm gonna work my way back. One, black people don't really give a damn about generation, like the wealth gap. They care about the income gap. That's why you always talk about the value. The black dollar only goes as far as such and such as 80 cents to a white dollar, whatever. They only care about the income gap. So in the process of so the other part too that y'all were talking about, that the secret to selling the Negro came out in 1954. In the document, it said the Department of Commerce understood that black people are status seekers, and this is why we buy name brand stuff and all sorts of things. So that's how they started marketing to black people. So the whole concept around black people, black people are in so much denial about what's really black and what's not. And you go around, all black people don't eat fried chicken. Where? Every black household I've ever been in has fried chicken. I love fried chicken.
Me too.
And I'm a good cook too. I cook mean chicken wing. So,
but just real quick to that point, I think that's when you got to remind people that we are all adults, right? So when we say all black people eat fried chicken, we know, like, realistically, we're not saying every single black person, but we are saying there's so much of a majority that we can use that generalization to say that all black people eat fried chicken, because we like fried chicken and there's nothing wrong with it.
Man, these Negroes be playing games to the point where they care so much about status is that when they eat fried chicken in front of white folk, they be looking for a knife and fork. So the last part, right? The last part, I have mine with Great Poupon, please. The last part that I'm going to bring back, going back to the 500,000, job mark, is, it's very, very, statistics are a very interesting thing, because it very well could have been 500,000 jobs applied for at that particular time. But if you really want to look back into when that was after, the outbreak, and when all of the loans were being offered, and all those different programs that were supposed to reimburse those businesses and so forth. Did I lose y'all again?
Now we here. Go ahead, keep talking. We here.
All those businesses were actually, when people were actually just creating LLCs and things of that nature at that particular time, right after the pandemic, when they were offering to give people the loans that they supposedly were going to be forgiven for, but so many people have been going to jail for lately. So those PPA loans, PPP, sorry, the PPP loans, and so it's really funny how you could take something like that, for which many of those businesses didn't turn a profit. I remember us on the phone figuring out how we could turn it, and then we all realized when we really did the math that it wouldn't even be worth the application process. But then other people were having people forge their paperwork, and then they would go to jail. Like, it was ridiculous. So to say that Donald Trump was responsible for 500,000 black-owned businesses at that time, no, maybe 500,000 black people put in an application like that. But at that particular time, it wasn't about Donald Trump, and the resurgence of the economy. It was more about people trying to be opportunistic about the situation that was at hand. So, and if you really want to be honest about it, and we can talk about it, Donald Trump's poor handling of that crisis caused hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives to be lost during that process, while people tried to deal with the modern day plague of our era. So, by the way, this is for all the people who say we don't critique Trump. We've been doing this for like 6-7 years now, critiquing Donald Trump. So,
hey man, all those people who say we don't critique the Republicans to Trump, get out your feelings and go watch the videos. What your girl said, facts over feelings, right? But that's that right there is one of our main issues, is our dang on feelings. We want to feel our way through life, and everything is about feeling. What Maya Angelou said, people don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. And you can feel how you want to feel at the end of the day. What are the actual facts and what are the actual results? And if the results are nothing, and I don't care about your feelings, neither party is doing anything for us.
Here's my take on the Maya Angelou quote. Just because she said it, don't mean it is right. Like,
I told my mom,
people, she is right. People do remember how you made them feel more than what you say. That don't mean that that's the way it should be. That don't mean that that's a beneficial state of existence for the human condition. That don't mean that we should all ascribe and aspire to. If you know that your feelings lead you astray, then the intelligent person would seek to not be led by such things which would lead them astray. If I know my feelings is going to get me in a situation where I'm in a boxing ring with Mike Tyson, I'm going to listen to my brain over my heart. Look, bro, I know you feel like Mike Tyson disrespected you. And I know you think you can do these things. But reality is, even though he's 60 years old, that's still Mike Tyson. That might not be a good move. Right? So I just don't like, because people say these things. Malcolm X said that there's nobody more unprotected than the black. Okay, he said it. And my mama said that black women have gas all the time. Like, what does any of that have to do with anything? What does that mean?
Hey man, it's a quote. You can't disrespect quotes, dog.
Billy Blank said he liked to kick high. So what? Everybody say stuff all the time,
bro.
What is?
You know, the funny thing about that Mike Tyson thing is I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, well, I didn't know where it unfroze. So Mike, Stephen A. Smith he did a real good piece on like Kamala Harris thing. But we're not talking about her really today, but he talked about the Mike Tyson Michael Spinks fight, and I did not know why Michael Spinks was in the locker room for so long. But it was further revealed that he was literally the reason he held the fight up and delayed the fight is because he was back there crying for like an hour because he didn't want to fight Mike Tyson. I just found that out. So, damn.
Hey, but black people be in the voting booth crying because they really don't know how to vote. You know what I'm saying? But
the truth is, black people ain't voting.
Black emotions are voting. There you go.
Well, no, the truth really is, black people ain't voting. When they start talking about 80% of black people voted for whoever, you talking about 80% of 15%.
Well, I know our local elections here, 31% of the population showed up to vote out of the total population of Tallahassee, and we know a small percentage of that were us. So
right, so black people there ain't vote. Same here, same across the country. The truth of the matter is, black people are not voting, and that's where it gets to be interesting to me, because they're doing all of this caping and caricaturing and all this other stuff for a population of people that by and large don't vote.
Shout out to the college students who don't vote.
Yeah. Everybody all ran. Bernie Sanders learned that lesson the hard way. And
right.
I remember when he first started running, and I was like, I wish this man would come talk to me. All the people he caping for ain't gonna vote.
Fooled me once, shame on you. Fooled me twice, shame on me. Bernie like, well, I ain't letting y'all do it to me a third time because y'all ain't voted for me these last 2 times. So
young people don't vote.
Black folk, be smarter. Neither party cares for us. Neither party has done for us, doing for us, or plan on doing for us.
Well, wait, Joe. I have one more thing, because I get the shit she's trying to close out. I want to emphasize, right? What I just said was that black people, by and large, don't vote. Over 60% of the black community doesn't vote in every election. That means we, by and large, don't vote as a majority. They're presenting these caricatures of black people to try to stimulate the small percentage of black people that do vote to vote their way. Like, I just want us to take some time to think about the messaging that's really going on here. Who are they really talking to? When that's because if black people don't vote, but they got all these messages for black, who are these messages for?
Well, going back to what we said earlier, they do their research and they know who vote. They know who's who. They know who they need to go after. They know who they need to target. They have the time to do their research and they do it. They have the means and the money and the resources and the people. So they do it. So that's how we get Michaelah Montgomery. That's how we get Diamond and Silk. That's how we get your booties to the poll. That's how Ricky Smiley end up crying on the radio and stuff like that. That's how we get this whole Black MAGA movement. That's how we literally get like, because black people are being fanatical about the MAGA stuff, because you know how black people got to be extra about everything, right? So when it comes to the MAGA, you got I seen one dude at one of those conventions with his MAGA cowboy hat, his MAGA vest on, is dressed like a full cowboy. Like, black people are dressing up and down for something that they don't even know that's gonna do something for them. All they know is, I'm mad at the blue, so I'm gonna give the red a try. But the red ain't been doing nothing for you this whole time. You look dumb. And I'm gonna end it like that. Hey, man. FetLifeStation.com, 2 p.m. Go ahead. Are you finna say something?
No. I just fixed what was wrong. But go ahead.
FetLifeStation.com. Make sure you check it out right following this. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's keep running these numbers up. Let's keep doing what we're doing. This channel is growing, and I appreciate everybody who's supporting. So we're gonna keep giving y'all the information. We appreciate the support. Catch y'all on the other side. Vote with your mind, not with your feelings.